Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Shield Football Podcast. Holding it down today is me, Jerron, and my co-host today, DC Derek Crab. Holding it down for Fredo. He'll be back soon. Joyce a little early vacation. DC, how you doing?
Doing good, bro. Here to recap this week 3. It's rough. It's rough on a lot of people. We've seen things that we really wasn't even expecting this weekend. So we're about to jump into that, and y'all let us know what y'all think at the end of this. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us.
Definitely subscribe and follow. You might hear it in my voice. I'm depressed. I'm hurt. I'm angry still about this weekend. This whole week is just.
Yeah.
We'll get into it, man. It's some letdowns. It was an ugly week.
Yeah.
Ugly week all around. First thing, you want to get into this Thursday night football?
Yeah.
All right, so Thursday night football, the New York Giants went against the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco came up on top 30-12. Daniel Jones went 22 of 32 for 137 yards and an interception. Brock Purdy went 25 of 37, 310 yards, 2 touchdowns. Leading rusher for the Giants, Matt Breida, 4 carries, 17 yards and a touchdown. Christian McCaffrey, 18 carries, 85 yards and a touchdown. And receiving leaders, Slayton for the Giants, 3 receptions, 32 yards. Deebo Samuel for the 49ers, 6 receptions, 129 yards and a touchdown. Before we get into the team stats, you see anything like interesting in how the teams looked, how Purdy played or how McCaffrey played?
Yeah, Purdy, he looked okay. He looked good. A lot of it was a short pass and long runs.
Yeah.
So I'm still waiting to see if he's official. I want to see somebody put him in a position to where he has to push the ball downfield.
Yes.
Take that short. I know Ayuk, when he was there, he had a couple of big plays, but that was against some iffy secondaries.
Mhm.
So I'm waiting to see them play somebody that forces him to push the ball down the field with a legit defense on that side. But I would say he did what he's supposed to do.
Yeah,
he got 300 yards and he moved right along. So.
Yeah, the last test was in the playoff game against the Cowboys, where his full test where he looked kind of shaky, but I thought he was regressing this game until they went ahead and they exploded. For the team stats, New York only had 150 total yards. There's going to be a lot of this week. New York had 150 total yards, 1 turnover. They had 10 first downs versus San Francisco, 39 minutes and 10 seconds time of possession, 441 yards, 0 turnovers, 26 touchdowns. This is dominant.
Yep.
And it looked like it. What do you think about the game overall? How it laid out?
I think the Giants are done.
Yeah,
they are done. They lost that one. They finna lose the next 3. They got Seattle.
Ooh.
They got Miami.
Yeah.
And they got Buffalo.
Ooh.
So they go ahead and start planning their vacation right now.
Yeah.
Because the way they schedule set up. And then they still got to come back through the division with the Eagles and the Cowboys again.
Yeah.
So for them, I think they can go ahead and throw in the towel. I don't even think Saquon would have helped them in that game right there.
No.
And so he's going to be back out there looking for a new deal next year because he won't get the money he wanted this year because he won't hit his incentives. I don't think he's going to make it. That's another thing. But they're about done. They're done for now. They can go on to next year because their schedule is not going to allow them to get back into this.
Yeah, no. They crowned Daboll too quick.
Mm-hmm.
They had a 9-7-1 season, and they gave him the coach of the year
with a 4th place schedule.
With a 4th, yeah. I'm trying to figure. It was confusing to me back then, and now it's even more confusing. Like they just crowned him as a offensive genius, and I don't think he's using his parts right. Where's Hyatt?
I know it.
You know?
I know.
They pumping passes to Paris Campbell. Waller looks done.
Yep.
And it looks like he has no answers. He didn't give Daniel Jones a chance.
No.
And you can see it in Daniel Jones's eyes. The way he was scanning the field like, man, there's monsters everywhere around here. So, but yeah, like you said, I think they're done. You just broke down their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
It's only gonna get worse from here, and they're only gonna get more nicked up.
That's it.
So it's
That's
like,
it.
all right, man, y'all might be in trouble. Trying to look up Daniel Jones's his box score. He only got 2 sacks, 16 yards. I thought it'd been a little bit more.
Thank God he mobile.
Exactly. Exactly. But so that Thursday game kind of predicted the week going forward. But here's another weird game. We're gonna move on to Indianapolis at Baltimore. Colts scored 22. The Ravens scored 19 in an overtime game. Gardner Minshew, 27 of 44, 227 yards, 1 touchdown. Lamar Jackson, 22 of 31, 202 yards. He was also the leading rusher with 14 carries, 101, 2 touchdowns. That's an old school Lamar Jackson game right there. Zach Moss, he looks like the real deal. 30 carries, 122 yards. I doubted him. I didn't think he was going to be anything. Then we go to Michael Pittman, leading receiver for the Colts, 9 receptions, 77 yards. Zay Flowers, rookie wide receiver, 8 receptions, 48 yards. Total yardage for Baltimore, 364 yards. Indianapolis, 327 yards. 2 turnovers for Baltimore, which is probably what won the Colts the game. 20 first downs, 19 first downs for the Colts. Weird game. Weird game, Kraft. Like, what do you think of the way the teams fared? It was ugly game in a monsoon, basically. So, what do you think about that?
I gotta admit, I was shocked because I still, even though with the monsoon, I still expected Baltimore to just go out there and take it down their throat.
Yeah.
Lamar, 14 carries, man, 2 touchdowns and 100 yards. That's, like you said, that's the old Lamar. So, Minshew, hey, he did what Minshew does. And, of course, Zach Moss. I'm like you, I doubted him. I did not have no idea. I seen it last week. I think maybe that's just a fluke.
Yeah.
Then he come right back this week.
Exactly.
And do it. But on the other part, I mean, Baltimore's defense, man, you got to stop that. You Baltimore, you lose to a team that most people thought was bottom 5 teams in the league when the year started. And your division was probably picked to be one of the toughest divisions in all of football. Of course, we did pick that. And now you got to come and face the rest of your division after you lost that game. And, man, it was just a weird game, man. They went in overtime and they went 3 and out. Come on, man. What is going on with Baltimore? I don't think anybody expected this. I don't think even the coach, they just felt like, hey, we stick around long enough. We got a chance. And when you play those teams, man, you just got to come out and punch them in the mouth. You just do.
Yeah.
Do what you do best, Baltimore. You can run the ball. You could have ran it on them.
And it was kind of like the Colts had the refs on their side, too. There was a bunch of missed calls where – but that's what happens when you don't put a bad team away. They stick around. But this injury list for the Ravens, I'm gonna try to, I'm gonna try to I'm gonna try to run through it. It's big, man. Just the offense. J.K. Dobbins, Justin Hill, Gus Edwards got nicked up. Keaton Mitchell, Odell didn't play. Rashad Bateman's always hurt. Tyler Wallace is hurt. Their starting center Tyler Linderbaum, Andrew Voorhees, Ronnie Saley, long snapper got hurt. Defense missing Marlon Humphrey, Demarion Williams, Trayvon Mullen, Marcus Williams, Darius Washington, Owe, Odafe Owe, David Ojagbo, Malik Hare, and man, this is like this is that's a roster.
Yeah,
that the whole roster looks like it's some kind of injury. Man, but at the same time, they gave up. Yeah. They gave them a chance.
Oh yeah,
when they didn't need to.
But like you said, the turnovers.
Yeah. Lamar had a weird fumble. He keeps fumbling. That's an issue for him. But that's the refs ended the game basically in the coach's favor for him.
Yeah, that no call at the end. I got to admit, that should have been a flag.
Mm-hmm.
It was all over the guy.
Yeah.
And that ain't the first time this year we've seen that happen in the NFL. There's been a couple other games where at the end there should have been a flag thrown, but I guess the refs say they don't want no part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't want to decide the game, but they decided the game by not trying to decide the game. Yep. Let's go on to, man, Kraft, I'm sorry we got to do it to you, but another domination. Tennessee played the Cleveland Browns. Tennessee Titans played the Cleveland Browns. Tennessee scored 3 points in Cleveland. Cleveland went on ahead and scored 27. Deshaun Watson probably had one of his best games, even though it's still an up and down game for him. 27 to 33, 289 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tannehill, 13 to 25, 104 yards. Derrick Henry, 11 carries, 20 yards. You never see that. Pierre Strong for the Cleveland Browns, 6 carries, 27 yards. Leading receiver for the Titans, 3 catches for 48 yards was DeAndre Hopkins. And Amari Cooper, who got shafted in this game, 7 receptions, 160 yards and a touchdown. And then you go to the total team stats, and it just gets bad. Ah, man, I hate to breathe this off. Cleveland total yards 341 yards. They had 1 turnover. The first downs was 26 first downs versus the Tennessee Titans 94 total yards, 0 turnovers, but 6 first downs. It's crazy because 94 total yards, and Tannehill had 104 yards passing. So you know it's bad whenever something like that happens. Kraft, sure you paid attention to this game deeply. What happened?
Oh man, a bunch of the same old. First off, there's no identity on offense. Second off, the offensive line, it's ridiculous. Between them and the secondary, I don't know which group is the worst. I mean, with the ball was snapped and the guys were in the backfield. I mean, with just like that every time, and of course with Tannehill, it's gonna happen real quick. Something have to happen. If the team keeps going like this on this road, like this is one of my teams I picked at. Right now, I made a list last night of some teams that's about to implode.
Oh.
This was one of my teams. The Giants was one of my teams, and the Bears are one of my teams.
Oh yeah.
These 3 teams are on their way to imploding mid-season because of what you expected and what's happening. And a lot of them in all same situation. It's falling back on the quarterback for the most part. Especially with the Bears and now the Titans. 100 yards?
Yeah.
If you played a whole game and you only threw for 100 yards, Derrick Henry, 11 carries for 20 yards. It makes no sense to me. They ran the ball a total of 15 times the whole game. And that's normally a minimum game for just Henry himself.
Right.
So like I said, I'm trying to figure out what identity at. And then you and of course Watson, they did what they supposed to do. They know you're not going to run against the Titans. They're not going to let you do it, so they're just going to step back and sling that ball. The first touchdown that Watson threw was to the running back. He was in the corner of the end zone, wide open, standing by himself, eating lunch. And the ball just happened to show up. It was terrible, man. It was sad. But something's got to happen. And like we said a few weeks ago, don't be surprised if they moved on from Henry. If this thing keeps trending like this, there's no reason to have this terrible season. And if somebody calls you up and offer you something for him, because this is last year of the contract. This is Tannehill's last year of the contract. So both of these guys are going to be up for new contracts next year. So don't be surprised. All of a sudden, just breaking news, he's been traded to XYZ, because you get halfway through the season, you've already paid half the contract.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be nothing for the next team to take on the rest of the half of their contract. So don't be surprised if you start seeing these teams making moves like that.
I need Henry in Dallas. Just because last year the contract, you use him now and then and then pass him along.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill, 5 sacks taken, 23.7 QBR. man, it's yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
And the crazy part about that is I think Tim Kelly
Mm-hmm.
was a downgrade. He's a downgrade because, like you just say every week, what's the identity?
Yep.
And the identity should be established with Derrick Henry, Tajay.
Mm-hmm.
They ran for 1.7 yards a carry,
Yeah.
15 times.
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Henry's never been 1.8 yards a carry. This is like throwback Army football, basically. I think a Texans fan would have told you Tim Kelly ain't the way to go with this offensive coordinator position. But on the Brown side, and they just dominated.
Yeah.
Amari 8 targets, 7 receptions. Like you said, that's the secondary. Myles Garrett 5 tackles, 4 solo tackles, 3.5 sacks, 3 TFLs. Like
Yep.
he did. That's his Pro Bowl tape right here in this one game, and it's it's tough. But we can move on if you.
But one more thing about it, Jerron. When I say implode, I think it's gonna happen within the locker room. When you got a defense that's going out there and doing what they're supposed to do, and the offense keeps letting you down 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. At some point, I know we teammates, but the frustration is gonna build, and there's gonna end up being words, man. And I think that's the same thing in some of these other locker rooms around the league. Like, my God, man, we out there doing our thing, and you guys keep letting us down. At some point, that's gonna be a breakdown.
The only thing about that is, there's no real. Maybe Jeffrey Simmons could be the guy, or Kevin Byard. Maybe those are the guys who say, "Hey, like, what the hell are we doing?" Look at Ryan Tannehill in his face and say, "You got to step up, do something." 94 yards of total offense ain't gonna cut it. But I don't see a bunch of dominant personalities. If anything, head coach he's gonna have to go to into that offensive room and do something.
Yeah,
do something. Get them started somewhere. But let's go on to sunnier times down in Miami, Florida. The Miami Dolphins, who are now 3-0, scored 70 points.
Oof.
In a regulation NFL game. They put 70 points on the Denver Broncos, who only scored 20, and who are now 0-3. That's a plus 50 point differential. Tua, 23 of 26, 23 of 26. He missed 3 passes for 309 yards, 4 touchdowns. Devin A-Chain, 18 carries, 203 yards for 2 touchdowns. I'm only going to do the Dolphins at first because there's the Broncos don't even matter. Tyreek Hill, 9 receptions, 157 yards and a touchdown. That's dominance. Devin A-Chain, 18 carries, 203 yards. Team stats. Total yardage 726 yards for the Miami Dolphins. No turnovers, 30 first down, 3-0 first down. So they could have broke the record for total yardage at the end of the game, and Mike McDaniel's like, you know what, I'm not going to do it to you, Sean. We already put 70 on you. And then Denver had 363 yards, 3 turnovers, 16 first downs. And to me, the craziest stat about all of this is they put up 70 points in only 33 minutes and 21 seconds of having the ball. I need to do some math, but that's like scoring a touchdown every 5-6 minutes.
That's crazy.
Of play.
That's crazy.
That's incredible. Kraft, what do you have about this game?
Man, the Broncos, You bring in Peyton, you give up a first and second round for the coach. Ain't won a game yet.
I forgot about that.
You give up seven. This look like Alabama in the College of Charleston when you look at that score, something like that. You don't give up 70 points in the NFL. That means you quit. I know Sutton lost 2 fumbles, but that means you quit. At some point, you quit. I don't know if Miami is that good or if Denver is that bad.
It's hard to tell.
It is. It really is. But as of now, it looks like the MVP is 2 of the lose. The way that offense is moving, and I want to see them again with a little more stiffer competition. But, man, this is ridiculous to give up 70 points in an NFL game. And look at the rushing. It ain't like they just dropped back every time and threw it. He only threw the ball 26 times. Hell, Mike White came in and got in at the end and got the touchdown.
Yeah.
So, man, it's going to be one of them other teams that may end up imploding. Denver. You know, like I say, you gave up all the capital for the head coach, and these are the results you're getting. Something has got to give. Yeah.
Total rushing stats: 350 yards on the ground on 43 attempts. That's 8.1 yards per rush. Like you said, that's college numbers.
Yeah.
That's when you go against Western Kentucky and you do something like that. I've never seen anything like that in my life. Dolphins had 10 touchdowns, 0 turnovers. Tua, 309, talked about that. Raheem Mostert had 142 total yards. A-Chain, 233 total yards. Tyreek, the crazy part, I'm going to keep saying it. No Waddle. Waddle
I forgot all about that.
Waddle didn't suit up. It was River Craycraft. It was Barrios. It was they just.
I forgot all about that.
I've always said, this is how you build an NFL team in my book. Have speed everywhere. Yeah. And they're just putting it all together now. It's like, so in my opinion, this is the best team in the league by a lot.
No doubt.
Their defense isn't great, but you ain't got to be great whenever you putting a touchdown every 6-7 minutes on the board. It was video game stuff.
That's exactly what it was. Video game.
It's like if I go against my son in Madden.
Yes.
and I just get mad. And I'm like, you know what? You can't stop this. Blah. You can't stop this. Blah. And for them to do that to Sean Payton, who's a Hall of Fame coach, who took a year off, who, like you said, was traded for what was the compensation?
A first and a second.
A first and a second. He was brought there to fix Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, he had 306 yards. He had 23 of 38, but as a team, this ain't the same Sean Payton who Sean Payton never would have gave this up.
No. Ain't no way.
There's no way he would have, and he was testy after the game.
That's what I heard.
There's a theory that Mike McDaniel took this personal because him and Hackett are close.
Oh, okay.
They all come from the same coaching tree. Him, Hackett, Shanahan, they all like in this thing together, in this coaching club together. And he took that Hackett hate out on Sean Payton. Supposedly that's the theory. But man, I've nothing. How do you come up with 10 celebrations?
I know, right?
For like, eventually you just gotta throw the ball to the ref and say, "Look, we're so used to this."
Yeah. They had 2 games worth of stats in one game.
Absolutely,
2 games.
It's
of good stats.
Man, it's just every time you saw it was a deep.
Yeah.
Even the Chosen.
Yes, Robbie.
Robbie Chosen.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is now, even he got into the mix. The fastest, according to Next Gen Stats, the fastest ball carriers in the game in a game this whole season is Tyreek Hill, number 1. He hit 22 miles an hour. Number 2, Devin A-Chain. He hit 21.93, and both of those happened this weekend. Number 3 is Tyreek Hill. Week 1, 21 miles an hour, 21.66. Number 4, Raheem Mostert. Week 2, hit 21.62 miles an hour. Tyreek Hill again in week 1 hit 21 miles an hour and 50.52. And then this week again, Devin A-Chain hit 21.5. So the top 6 fastest players in Next Gen Stats this season are all Dolphins. Come on, man.
And you didn't even mention Waddle. He ain't far behind.
No, he's got to be at 20 or 19 or something. So the top 6 fastest players in the league are all Dolphins. It's ridiculous. How do you stop that?
It's unstoppable, man. I don't know what kind of scheme you could come up with, because the way that head coach draw plays, man, it's just different.
Yeah.
Some of the plays, the little shuttle when he wasn't even looking when he tossed that ball.
Yeah. They having fun.
Yeah, they is. That's the scary part about it.
I can't come up with a way in my mind even to pretend like there's a way to stop that.
No.
Tua is clean, no sacks. Yeah. Man, let's just move on. This is crazy. Robbie Chosen, 1 reception, 68 yards, and a touchdown on 1 target. Like, come on, man. This is video game stuff. That's crazy. We're gonna go to New York. We're gonna go from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. The Patriots went into New York and beat the Jets 15-10 to improve to 1-2, and the Jets dropped down to 1-2. Zach Wilson, 18 of 36. That's 50% of his passes completed. 157 yards. Mac Jones, 15 and 29. 201 yards and a touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, 16 carries, 80 yards. Little throwback for Zeke. Dalvin Cook, 8 carries, 18 yards. Garrett Wilson, 5 receptions, 48 yards. And who's that? Pharaoh Brown, 2 receptions, 71 yards, and a touchdown for the Patriots. Again, one of these games. New England had 358 yards, 17 first downs. The Jets had 171 yards, 12 first downs at home. Kraft, what do you think about the Zach Wilson experience?
They need to do something different, because I think the locker room is going to get loud over there too.
Yep.
I think they really are tired of it, man. They put all the eggs in one basket with Rodgers, and now this is going to be the result. I don't know where they can go to get help, so they're going to have to just deal with this. The defense, I figured they'd be a little better than that. I mean, but Zeke ran for 80.
Yeah.
They kept Mac Jones in check. He's about 50%, but man, they got trouble over there in New York. That's from Garrett Wilson and all the guys on defense. When you're a guy as good as Wilson, you're like, my God, we got to get better quarterback play. And it's nowhere in sight. It ain't on the roster. So it's going to be real interesting to see going forward if these guys can keep their temper in check and just push through this terrible season that they're about to have.
They already are breaking up.
Yep.
Because on the sideline, Garrett Wilson was yelling at Hackett, saying that Zach Wilson can't throw. Michael Carter got into it with somebody on the sideline. I forget who he got into it with. It's bad. Yep. So their strength right now is the running game. As a team, they ran for 1.7 yards per carry. The only reason I said Dalvin Cook name, because Cook had 8 carries, 18 yards. Breece Hall had 12, 18 yards. He went for 1.5 yards. And the crazy out of the 18 yards, his longest carry was 7 yards. Yeah. So that you could just imagine how bad the rest of these other carries were. Yeah. They just don't have anything without Rodgers. Like you said, they put everything in the Rodgers bucket, and once that
was it.
tipped over, they can't fill the bucket back up.
Yeah, and they just gonna put 9 in the box, whatever they can.
Oh yeah,
and make Wilson beat them. That's gonna be the recipe for the rest of the year, and it's gonna get more and more frustrating throughout the team. You got Hackett there. They say he's the OC, but he ain't called no play. That was when Rodgers. Anytime he played with Rodgers,
yeah.
There's never been an offensive coordinator for Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Rodgers have always done his own thing. There's just people been on the team that got a title. Now Hackett, he ain't got Rodgers, and he got to figure out a way to get some kind of production out of Wilson, and I don't see it happening at all.
Yeah, I don't. Robert Saleh had the gonads to say that Zach Wilson gave them the best chance of winning. Rumor is Matt Ryan reached out. They said no. Carson Wentz reached out. They said no. Is there anything they can do? What do you? If let's say you're the GM, what move are you making?
At this point, you got to answer one of those calls. Somebody like that, because if you don't, your team looking at it like you gave up too. When you're looking at the head coach in the front office, you're not making a move. You already see this ain't working. Today we know this. Week 3, this ain't working. So at some point in the near future, you need to be on the phone calling somebody. Somebody's back up. Call the Dolphins, see if they send Mike White back.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
And they'll hold you up.
Right.
They'll hold you up.
At least the guy supported him last year with the Mike White T-shirts and everything. So you got to do something. You can't just sit on your hands because your team is watching you, waiting on you to make a move for the team. And don't look like you just threw the towel in also.
The only thing I can think of is 3 names. Matt Ryan. Yeah. He's shot, but he's better than Zach. Taylor Heineke. I think he's in Atlanta.
Yep.
Go give up something. And the ultimate long shot, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, you got to give up a 1.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the Minnesota game, but where are they going? They're not going anywhere. He's got a big contract. The only thing that will hurt you is getting his contract and mixing it in with the Rodgers contract. Yeah. But I think he's a free agent after this year, so you'll get a compensatory pick back. So give up a 1 or 2 to get him, and hopefully he can save your season. But right now, they will be fighting in the locker room.
Oh, no doubt.
There's going to be some fights. Randall Cobb, he's going to be fighting Sauce. Quentin Williams going to be throwing offensive linemen around. They got some problems in New York.
Yeah, they got big problems in New York,
and it's only getting uglier from here. Another ugly game. We're moving on to the Buffalo Bills in Washington. I said that right. In Washington, putting up 37 points on the Washington Commanders, Redskins football team, whatever you want to call these clowns. Washington's 2-1. Buffalo improved to 2-1. 37-3. Josh Allen went 20 of 32, 218 yards, a touchdown and interception. Sam Howell, 19 of 29, 170 yards, 4 interceptions. James Cook, 15 carries, 98 yards. He's been doing his thing this year. I doubted him too, to be honest. Brian Robinson, 10 carries, 70 yards. Stephon Diggs, 8 receptions, 111 yards. Curtis Samuel was the high man for the Commanders with 2 receptions, 54 yards. Win probability from the get-go is Washington never had a chance. Buffalo, 386 yards and a turnover, 20 first downs, 34 minutes and 39 seconds of time of possession. Washington had 230 yards, 5 turnovers, 5 of them for 15 first downs. I didn't see much of this game, and I don't think I missed anything not watching this game. Did you see any of this?
I flipped back and forth a little bit, but I was wrong on this. I thought Washington at least would put up a fight.
Yeah.
My goodness. The 5 turnovers. Robinson had a decent game, but once you get behind like that, you got to abandon the run.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, and I don't know why in hell, Curtis Samuel is the leading receiver for the Washington Commanders. Why would that happen? When you got Dotson,
yeah,
man, they didn't even show up. They didn't even show up this game. The Buffalo defense just walked in there and punched them in the mouth. And like you said, I think Buffalo's got their running back with Cook. I think they found him. I think he's gonna work well with what they do. So and Stephon Diggs still doing Diggs stuff. But Washington, man, you should be embarrassed of that game, that performance right there. Unbelievable, man.
The D line itself should keep them in the game.
No doubt.
The Commanders' O line ain't that bad. But Sam Howell, he's holding the ball for a long time. I thought, like when you mentioned those receivers, I thought that Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson were going to go off this year, and it just doesn't seem like that. Dotson ain't really doing what I thought he was capable of doing. Maybe the Commanders are still looking for another quarterback. Sam Howell was sacked 9 times this game. 9 times.
Von Miller didn't even play.
Yeah. They lost 45 yards on his 9 sacks. It's all bad. He had 4 interceptions. Antonio Gibson lost a fumble. You know, he's prone to
that's why he can't get on the field now.
He's prone to fumbleitis. Some of his defensive names for Buffalo: Terrell Bernard, 2 quarterback hits, 2 sacks, 2 TFLs. I don't even know this cat. Daquan Jones had 1.5 sacks. Ed Oliver, 1.5 sacks, 2 TFLs, 2 quarterback hits. They had 15 total quarterback hits and 9. Man, they worked them 10 TFLs. So this is complete domination.
Yeah.
They lived on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and I know a lot of people riding high with the Commanders and what happened with Eric Bieniemy, but I can't tell you what happened in this game, to be honest.
Definitely lopsided.
Yeah, definitely. You want to go to the Falcons at Detroit? Another lopsided game. Atlanta scored 6. Detroit scored 20. Desmond Ridder, 21 of 38, 201 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Jared Goff, 22 of 33, 243 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And then a rookie running back duo. They did my boy wrong. Bijan, 10 carries, 33 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, 17 carries, 80 yards. Leading receiver is Kyle Pitts with 5 receptions, 41 yards. And Amon-Ra St. Brown was the leading receiver for the Lions with 9 receptions, 102 yards. Another one of these games. Detroit, 358 yards total. Atlanta, 183 yards. Both had 1 turnover. It was domination from Detroit. Atlanta. This is the Atlanta I thought we would be getting, to be honest.
Yes.
They looked strong in a couple games, but I thought they were gonna look like this for the whole year, to be honest.
Yeah. Arthur Smith, he decided to try to throw the ball, and evidently he's not very good at it.
Yeah.
They only ran the ball a total of 20 times with Bijan and Tyler Algier. So Ridder may not be your guy. He just might not be. You know, you think you gave him opportunity. In a game this low scoring, there was no reason for them to abandon the run. They could have just kept running and running and running. I don't know why they only ran it for 20 times after they've been running like crazy all year long. They just went away from it. So, and Pitts finally, got a little run. 5 catches this game. But guess what? Jonnu Smith, he also had 5 catches. So they're telling me he's out there taking snaps away from Pitts. Let's move on from that. Jonnu Smith, let Pitts do his thing in London. But, yeah, like you said, this was the Falcons team we were expecting, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot of bad quarterback play. I must admit, it's Atlanta ran for 2.2 yards per play per carry. Like you said, 5 receptions. Kyle Pitts, 5 receptions. Jonnu Smith. They have 9 targets, 8 targets respectively. And Drake
Wow.
London, that's your Drake London is a beast.
Yeah.
We all know that. He had 2 catches, 31 yards, 6 targets. They just can't get the ball to their guys. Bijan had 4 catches. It's just bad. And hats off to Jared Goff. He did what he had to. He wasn't special, but they just once they got ahead, there's no coming back.
Yeah.
For them. Shout out to Sam Laporta. 8 catches, 84 yards, 1 long touchdown, 45 yards on 11 targets. So, yeah, they did their thing.
Yep.
You got anything else for the Lions and Falcons fans out there?
I was looking at Jahmyr Gibbs. He's not a bad game rushing, but I expect him to put up even bigger numbers.
Yeah.
I really was for the rushing and pass and the receiving.
I think they're really slow playing him.
Yeah.
They want to get him acclimated as much as possible. And yeah, they're just taking the time. He'll blow up. He'll be that dude eventually.
Yeah.
And hell, they didn't really need him this game like that either. This was a crazy one. New Orleans Saints visit the Green Bay Packers. 17-18, which you would think is a close, back and forth game. But yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. Jordan Love was 22 of 44, 259 yards with a touchdown and interception. Derek Carr was 13 of 18, 103 yards and a touchdown. He left this game injured. Hopefully he is okay. Kendre Miller, 9 carries, 34 yards. Leading rusher for the Packers, Jordan Love, 9 carries, 39 yards and a touchdown. And Chris Olave, 8 receptions for the Saints, 104 yards. Romeo Doubs, 5 receptions, 73 yards, and a touchdown. If you look at it, it looks like a back and forth game. New Orleans, 252 yards. Green Bay had 340 yards and a final score of 18-17.
Yep.
The only thing about this is in the first half, New Orleans had 17 points. And the Green Bay Packers had 0 points. And then that totally flipped around. Green Bay woke up after the injury to Carr. And rattled off 18 straight points to win this game. What are your thoughts on how this went?
I watched a lot of this. It was always third quarter 17-0. When soon as Carr got hurt, you can see the energy left the team. And then Jameis had to come in there. And when he came that first drive, I think he may have gone 3 and out, and that was it. He couldn't get nothing going at all, period. And that just re-energized Green Bay. They seen they had a chance once Winston came in there. Because Carr, he had it under control. The defense was flowing and everything. And then all of a sudden, there's no way you're supposed to lose to this Green Bay team. Bakhtiari didn't play.
Right.
Watson didn't play.
Right.
And Aaron Jones didn't play. So that three of their best offensive players didn't even play. And you got Jordan Love, the leading rusher, who's not even really a running quarterback.
No.
And that Saints defense, it just folded in the second half. But they wasn't doing nothing special. But, it's just the air left the building, man, when the quarterback went down. And like I said, I hope he's okay. Because if not, it's gonna be one of those situations, Jameis coming in. He's a good backup, but this early in the season, he got to lead you for the rest of the way. It's probably going to be trouble for the Saints. So they can hopefully they get the quarterback back, and because they had a competitive team.
Right.
They will be, but without Carr, it's going to be trouble in paradise.
Yeah. They also get Kamara back next week, I believe.
Today he starts. He's eligible today.
Okay, yeah. It's unfortunate to hear about that shoulder injury for Carr. Hopefully it's not too long term. Because, I mean, for the Saints fans, hopefully,
Right.
I know your wife is a Saints fan, right? We got homeboys that are Saints fans. But for us, we get to watch the Jameis Winston experiment. So for us, it's gonna be entertaining. But for them, it's gonna be
rough.
nail biting. It's gonna be back and forth. It's just it was wild. They scored the majority of their points for the Packers in a late third quarter, early fourth quarter. And the Saints still had a chance to win this game, but they missed the field goal. Yeah. I can't believe James couldn't mount one. Just one drive, James. Nope. Come on, that's all we need from you, bro. And we would have got a road victory. Saints only could rush 77 yards. Green Bay barely got they got 95 yards. So yeah, it's tough. We'll see how this goes for them in the future. But if you're a Saints fan, you got to be kind of nervous going forward with this team. But at least they're getting parts back. But as they lose a part, let's go on to my boy Fredo. Hopefully, this makes him feel pretty good about his team. Houston Texans visit the Jacksonville Jaguars. With a score of 37-17, the Houston Texans defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars. C.J. Stroud had a monster day, 20 of 30, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence, can the real Trevor Lawrence stand up? 27 of 40, 279 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Devin Singletary, leading rusher, 9 carries, 41 yards. Etienne, 19 carries, 88 yards. And little bit of surprise, Tank Dell, 5 receptions, 145 yards and a touchdown. Have a day, my guy. Evan Ingram, 7 receptions, 67 yards, was the leading receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars with Christian Kirk and your boy, who's the I don't know why I can't think of what's the leading receiver for the Jaguars? Calvin Ridley.
Oh, Ridley, yeah.
Yeah, with Ridley and Kirk on the field, Evan Ingram is your leader. Jacksonville tallied up 404 yards, 2 turnovers, 22 first downs. Houston tallied up 366 yards. Clean game, no turnovers, 15 first downs for the Texans. Kraft, what do you think about this game right here?
Man, Stroud continues to impress.
Yeah.
No turnovers yet. Now it looks like they got the best quarterback out of the draft.
Yeah.
It does. It's what Carolina gave up just to get Bryce Young, and he's already out for a couple of games. Stroud looking real good, man. I got to say I'm surprised. I expected him at some point to be good, but this early he's looking really good, man. And it looked like that Tank Dell and him going to be something to look forward to if they keep connecting like this. But for some reason I don't understand why Pierce is not getting more and more involved in the run game. You figure a game like that with that script, the Texans will be running it a lot more with him, but for some reason they're not. And like you say, Lawrence, he crowned you.
Yeah.
You're going to be looking for that big contract. Show me something. And it ain't because you ain't got weapons. You got good weapons with Ridley and the other guy, Kirk. So for some reason, I don't know what's going on in Jacksonville, but they're going to have to get it together. This is a team that most people picked. Some people picked them to, win a game in the playoffs. And it's the kind of showing you get at home like that. So they got a lot of stuff to figure out themselves. But, I mean, hey, hats off to the Texans, man. Great game by Stroud, Tank Dell. And I think the Texans, they had a lot of injuries too.
Yeah.
And they were still able to pull this off, because Stingley, he's done for a little while. And I don't even know if Petrie played or not, but
no,
you should have took advantage of that, Lawrence. I don't know why you didn't. So, hey, good job, Texans, man.
Yeah, like common sense would say, hey, Stingley's out, Petrie's out, Trevor Lawrence should go off. But that wasn't the case. He had a 58.9 QBR, 85.3 rating. He had an interception. bad interception. And it was dominance from the Texans. They had a lot of the Jacksonville Jaguars had a lot of miscues on their offense, on their special teams. Hell, a fullback ran a kick return back for the everything just worked out perfect for the Texans. I just want to give them their props. Yeah. I don't know how much you can replicate of this, but hell, the one thing you can replicate is C.J. Stroud being a good quarterback. We were kind of not down on him, but we were saying this ain't Ohio State,
right?
So you're gonna get pressure, and he's dealing with the pressure. He's starting to do really well with the pressure in his face. He's been knocked down constantly. He took 0 sacks this game. He had 118.8 QB rating. He's surgical.
Yes.
When you give him time, there's almost nothing you can do to keep him from completing a pass. His accuracy is up there. Like you said, they looks like they got the best quarterback in the draft, and this is with them messing up the end of last season.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Trevor Lawrence. What can we say about Trevor? So, Trevor Lawrence was the prince that was promised. He was the next Andrew Luck. And he's been good in his career. It's just something's missing.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is missing from Trevor Lawrence. And the Texans have his number. Whatever it is, the Texans know they have the formula to beat Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence.
I think they won the last 10 out of 11.
Yeah.
Against Jacksonville.
They own this team. So the Texans scored on every Jaguars mess up. They blocked the field goal. Texans score after that. They missed the field goal. Texans score after that. They fumbled the ball. Texans score after that. And then interception. The Texans scored 23 points off of the 5 miscues for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So dominant win. This might be things to come for the Texans.
Yes. Yeah.
Their arrows ticking up. I got to give them their props.
Definitely boost your confidence. Now everybody in the division is 1 and 2. The whole division. So that was a division game for them. So
C.J. Stroud has the most passing attempts without an interception. He's got more passing yards than Mahomes and Josh Allen this year. He's got more touchdowns than Dak and Trevor Lawrence, and he's got a better passing rating than Lamar Jackson and Jordan Love. So he's doing his thing. They got them one.
Yep.
They definitely.
I was reading something. I think he's one of 3 quarterbacks that got to 900 yards this in the first 3 games. It was Cam Newton and Justin Herbert, and now him. In their first 3 games, got over 900 yards of passing.
They all turned out good quarterbacks.
Yep.
So
I think the future's bright for the Texans.
Yeah, they got them one. Congratulations, Texans fans. We're going to the Chargers. This game was drunk. The Chargers visiting the Minnesota Vikings. The Chargers defeat the Minnesota Vikings 28-24. And Justin Herbert had 40 attempts. 47 yards, 47 attempts, 40 completions, 405 yards, 3 touchdowns. Kirk Cousins had 50 attempts, 32 completions, 367 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. The game-sealing interception, actually. Josh Kelly, I don't know what the hell is happening. Is Eckler just that good?
Yeah.
He had 11 carries, 12 yards.
And it's the Vikings.
Against the Vikings, who everybody dominates on the ground. Madison, 20 carries, 93 yards. And Keenan Allen had him a day. 18 receptions, 215 yards, and I believe he had a passing touchdown.
Yes, he threw one to Mike Williams, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Jefferson didn't have a shabby day either. 7 receptions, 149 yards, and a touchdown. If you look at the win probability, it's bouncing up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Like both teams probably say they should have won this game. They're dead even on total yards, 475 yards. There's no defense played in this game. Minnesota had 2 turnovers. That's the only difference. But I know you feel passionately about this game, Kraft. go ahead and get off your chest.
Yeah, man. It was impressive. Herbert, the 400 yards and only 7 incompletions. And of course, like you said, they're struggling with the run game. So I'm guessing that's why they lean so heavy on the pass.
Right.
But with Minnesota, and man, like I said yesterday, Staley should be fired, even though they won the game. It's fourth quarter. You on your own 24-yard line and you go for it on 4th and 1. You down by 4. Really? That's got to catch up with you at some point, man. Your own 24-yard line and you go for it and get it, and you don't get it. The only thing that saved him, I think, because when Minnesota got it, the next play, I think Jefferson got hurt.
Yep.
He went down and he was out of the game for a few plays, and that's when they turned it over or whatever. But it was entertaining, high scoring. I enjoyed it, but Staley's days are numbered. The owner got to be looking at him like, we have got to do something different. This ain't going to work. This is not going to work. It was just obvious. Punt the ball with just a couple of minutes to go in the game. But nope, he wanted to go for it, and it almost cost him.
And it was the way he went for it, too. They haven't been able to run the ball all game long.
Nope.
And he doesn't trust Herbert to get the 4th down conversion. You're on your own 24.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fireable fence, win, lose, or draw. To be honest,
Yes.
like it's. If he lost that game, he wouldn't be coach. Like he extended his coaching career to the end of the season, opposed to being on the plane home right after that game.
Ain't no doubt.
They would have flew in 2 separate planes. Staley would have been on one, the rest of the team would have been on the other.
Mm-hmm.
They got bailed out.
Yeah.
T.J. Hawkinson knocked the ball up in the air in the end zone was the only reason that Staley is surviving. Yeah. And you can see it on his face after the game.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't joy. It was relief. Definitely relief. I saw Kellen Moore relief because he caught that trash ass play on 4th down. So they built him out. Herbert is going off with this Kellen Moore offense, but it's still the bones of this team just ain't right. Yeah. Actually, both teams. Minnesota was 11-0 in 1-score games last year. Mm-hmm. Now they're 0-3 in 1-score games.
Yeah, we said that it was going. The table's going to turn.
Yeah, all last year both of us said we don't believe this team. Yep. We don't believe this is the dominant team. What they won 13 games last year. But now it's starting to regress to the mean. But yeah, they're 0-3 right now. They've got a lot of talent on that team. It's just some not clicking with them either.
Something not right.
But congratulations to the Chargers for winning this crazy game. Would you rather see a back and forth crazy game like this, or watch like a dominant win? Like let's say like the Giants and the 49ers. You know who is going to win the whole game. But it's good football. Yeah. Or would you look at trash football like how the Vikings and the Chargers did? Which one would you rather watch?
I'd probably watch the Giants and the Niners.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I'll probably watch the Giants and the Niners.
Because there's more complaints from this game than actual greatness. Yeah. No doubt. Let's move on to the Panthers versus the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle defeated the Carolina Panthers 37-27. No Bryce Young in this game. Andy Dalton took over. He went 34-58, 361 yards and 2 touchdowns. Geno went 32 of 36 or 23 of 36, 296 yards and a touchdown and an interception for the Seattle Seahawks. Kenneth Walker had one of those throwback games for him. 18 carries, 97 yards, 2 touchdowns. Miles Sanders, 9 carries, 24 yards and a touchdown. Adam Thielen, woo, 11 receptions, 145 yards and a touchdown. He had a day for him. DK Metcalf, 6 receptions, 112 yards receiving. Seattle, 425 total yards, 1 turnover, 27 first downs. Carolina, 378 total yards, 23 first downs. I must admit, didn't really pay attention to this game. Once Bryce Young was out, I was pretty much knowing that Seattle was going to dominate this game. Kraft, you have anything on this game?
I watched a little bit of it, off and on, but Seattle beat them. But man, I didn't think Carolina was going to put up 27 against that defense. Of course, Kenneth Walker, the knee is fine. No problem with that at all. But I was a little disappointed in the yardage and the points they gave up. But other than that, it's still a good win for them. Anytime you can win in the NFL, it's a good win. So eventually, hopefully, they'll get Jackson Smith a little bit more involved.
Yeah.
And because you got to face the 49ers a couple of times, and hell, you face the Rams, depending on what they look like. So they just got a few things I think they need to clean up on defense, but they should be okay. Seattle.
Yeah, it's a weird stat line. Jackson Smith and Jigba only 1 catch, 10 yards, 3 targets. I would have thought he would have got off to a quicker start.
Yeah. You got 2 tight ends ahead of him.
Yeah. Yeah. Devin Witherspoon, rookie cornerback. 11 tackles, 11 total tackles, 2 passes defense.
Yeah.
So he came through in a big way for them this game. But yeah, once Bryce was out, I knew it wasn't going to be much of a game, but Dalton actually moved the ball better. So there's a question going forth. Should Bryce have been starting the whole time? Maybe Dalton should get more starting time. I'm not sure. Like again, I didn't really watch it, but he's performed better than Bryce has.
Yeah.
He got sacked 3 times, also 45.1 QBR. But I don't know. We'll definitely have to see.
Especially what you gave up to get Bryce. You think, man, we gave up a whole lot to get this guy, and I'm sure that's why they started him from the jump, and they didn't let Andy Dalton start. But Dalton may come out there and win a game for him or something, and then of course you got to go back to Bryce, and then you come back to this whole locker room deal again.
Yeah,
you get this guy. He gives us the best chance we see. He gives us the best chance to win. But you so heavily invested in Bryce Young, you feel like you need to put him on the field. So, and also with the Witherspoon thing, that's what the Seattle defense, man. You don't want your secondary guys leading in tackles.
Right.
That lets you know they're getting too far downfield if that guy's a leading tackle. Similar to what the Texans were in last year when Petrie. He kept leading the team in tackles. That's not good when your secondary guys are leading like that. So
where are your linebackers?
Right. Yeah, and you got to fix that.
Seahawks have Bobby Wagner on their team. So
and it's Adam Thielen. This ain't no rookie young kid. This is long, old, slow Adam Thielen for 11 and all that.
I'll be honest. I think he's good for the year after that game. I think he's like, you know what? I'm
good.
I showed I still got it. I'm good. I don't need to go over the middle anymore.
That's right.
But next game, Chicago Bears, the 0-3 Chicago Bears, went to KC and got walloped. KC is now 2-1. They won the game 41-10. Justin Fields, come on, man. 11 of 22, 99 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. It's the same thing over and over again. It's Groundhog Day in Chicago. Justin Fields leading rusher, 11 carries, 47 yards, and a leading receiver, DJ Moore, 3 receptions, 41 yards, and a touchdown. He can't be happy with that situation. On the KC side, Patrick Mahomes, 24 of 33, 272 yards, 3 touchdowns. Normal Patrick Mahomes game. Isaiah Pacheco, 15 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown. And Travis Kelce. Somehow he always gets 7 receptions, 69 yards, and a touchdown. Every game, it's the same thing.
Yep.
But then we go to the team stats. Another one of these games. 456 total yards for the Kansas City Chiefs. 203 total yards for the Chicago Bears. 31 first downs for the Kansas City Chiefs. 11 for the Chicago Bears. Complete dominance in time of possession. 36 minutes and 13 seconds. Time of possession for the Kansas City Chiefs. Kraft, how do you feel this game with, and how do they fix the Chicago Bears?
They're in trouble. The whole Justin Fields thing, man. It's a really big issue right now, man. Like you say, man, they had the same amount of possession drives, 10 to 11, but
Yeah.
they had 20 more first downs than the Bears. Over 200 something yards more total. So they were just 3 and outs every time. So and the defense is trash. Now the offense is still trash. So they got problems. I think they're gonna be looking for a quarterback at the end of this year. Something, it's not working out. So I don't expect them to sign this 5th-year deal because I think they'll be drafting at the top of the draft once again.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just also have that Carolina pick to go with it, to package it, to do whatever they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So they look like they're gonna be in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes.
And they got to do it.
Yeah.
I would hate for them to just go after like a Marvin Harrison junior and think he can fix it. Knowing the Bears front office, that's probably what they'll think.
Yeah.
Like this is the same team that passed on Jalen Carter. When knowing their defense was trash, yes, they got a tackle, but come on, man, it's a talent acquisition thing. Their defense gave up 5 for 5 in the red zone, and they want to tell us they couldn't use Jalen Carter on their team.
No way.
I think the Justin Fields thing is over. He's had plenty. I think he's close to 30 games started right now, and there's no improvement on his accuracy, no improvement on his decision making. Still holds the ball. Best he can do is be a Taysom Hill type, scat back, mobile quarterback, college style quarterback. And that's they chose to run it back with him. Earlier in the week, he didn't really blame his coaches, but he threw that aspect in. Like people went crazy, but he actually had a list of things. It just included the coaches too.
Right.
Like it was line, him, and he said coaches too, and people just blew up on the coaches part for some reason. But it's just not working out. And I don't think it's maybe he needs a new landing spot. I don't think he can.
You don't think nobody can fix that?
I don't think he can be fixed.
I would like to see if they do replace him, how he respond to being a backup. So he seems like the kind of guy that's gonna take it really rough, especially when you come from Ohio State. You've always been the man for most of these guys. He may have been number 1 or 2 in the country coming out of high school.
Yeah.
When he went to Georgia.
Yeah, he was.
And now all of a sudden, you getting benched for the first time probably in your career. Even though it's NFL level, but I still think mentally there's something there. Because like I say, this at the end of this year, it's going to be time for the Bears to say we're going to give you the 5th-year option or not. And I don't see it happening. And there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks in this draft coming out. And I think there may be at least 5
Yeah,
in the first round.
I'm with you.
And you know, of course, you got Caleb and Drake May, but the one I like is Michael Penix.
Yep, I was about to.
Down to Washington, man. You know, everybody keep throwing Caleb out there, but by the time the draft rolls around, that guy, he might be up there in the top 2 or 3 by the time the season's over with. And there's no reason to just try to trade up to get Caleb. If you can, you can, but there's going to be some guys right behind him come out. They can still be productive for your team without you giving up the farm to get them.
And Chicago's going to be set up perfectly
Yes,
in
they will
that
be.
Penix, Drake May area.
Yeah. They may better get Penix and the receiver from Ohio State because they got Carolina's pick.
Yeah.
Just depends on how it falls.
Yeah, they played a bunch of bad football, and it's tough. I hate to take a job from a young man, but it's just once you watch the tape, there's open receivers. He's just not delivering the ball. But man, they definitely need to get them a quarterback. They needed a whole new staff too. Like the staff ain't helping, but they just needed, like you said, they implode the team.
Yeah. And it's just regression. I mean, just total from last year. I mean, it got worse. You figure the third year you should still be making improvement, but he just got completely worse. And I really don't know really who to blame it on. But he's the one taking the snaps out there. So it starts with him first. But, you know, like just a total regression like that is real strange.
And you know what's gonna happen? He's gonna go to Philly. He's gonna go to Philly, backup Hurts.
Oh man!
And then Philly's somehow gonna flip him for a high draft pick. I already see it happening. That's the perfect plan. Put him on the bench behind Hurts. Let him see how Hurts works, and then have him show out in a couple fourth quarters, show out in a couple preseason games, and somebody's gonna think that they got them to steal when it's really just how Philly operates.
You know, and as we see, you know, it takes a special OC head coach to get these guys rolling. As you can see in Indianapolis now with Anthony Richardson. Looks like they got that under control. If he can just stay healthy, he's going to be a productive quarterback. When most people, even myself, didn't think he would be in the league. So it takes a special OC and head coach for these quarterbacks to put them in a position to win, man.
Yeah, definitely. And we're not TMZ, so we're not going to talk about Kelsey and Taylor Swift. We're going to just move on. We talk about football over here. Leave that to them. We moving on to my game. I feel like this is the worst loss of the weekend, and the team lost by 50. I still feel like this is a shameful loss. Dallas Cowboys go to Arizona, which is a house of horrors for the Dallas Cowboys. For some reason, Arizona won by 2 scores, 28-16. Josh Dobbs, 17 of 21, 189 yards and a touchdown. That's all he really had to do. Connor, 14 carries, 98 yards and a touchdown. It says Michael Wilson was the leading receiver, but Hollywood Brown, he did his thing, really. Dak Prescott, 25 of 40, 249 yards, a touchdown, and a bad interception in the end zone. Tony Pollard, 23 carries, 122 yards. Michael Gallup, which was resurgent, 6 receptions, 92 yards. Arizona won by multiple scores, but Dallas out-yardaged them 416 yards to 400 yards. They had more first downs than the Arizona Cardinals, and they just had one turnover. Go ahead and give me your thoughts on this game, Kraft, before I talk about these clowns.
First off, you know, the first thing that stood out to me was the rushing yards.
Yeah.
You know, the defense. But like I said a couple of weeks ago, at some point, the defense going to have a bad game. It's going to happen. Yeah. It just matters if it's a regular season or the playoffs. But when that does happen, that's the point when you expect Dak to step up and elevate his game. Because, you know, these games are gonna happen. I was really shocked that they gave up 7 yards a carry, man, and when feel like when the Cardinals needed to make a play, I guess they just made a play.
They just made
They
a
really
play.
did. It was shocking to everybody the way this game went down. And of course, I know you're in the circle. Eventually, you'll have those guys asking for Trey Lance.
Mm-hmm.
You got those guys. Dak, I told y'all. Even the Cowboy fans will be out there. Dak, I told y'all. Dak ain't the answer. Dak ain't the answer. But for this team, he is the answer. For this year, he's gonna have to be the answer for him. He just got to. Whenever that moment comes and you're having a bad day on the defensive side, man, that's your time to step up because that defense wasn't that good.
No.
It really wasn't. But like you say, a resurgence when Michael Gallup led the team. I'm like, my goodness, what's really going on? Pollard still did his thing, but it was just the interception, just a bad timing, man. And where was that on the field in the end zone?
Yeah, it was one of them plays where he was just trying to force it.
Yeah.
They were already down 2 scores. Even if they got the touchdown, it wasn't really gonna get them to where they were going to win that game. But the Cardinals basically out coached the Cowboys, offense, defense. So on the defensive side, I don't know why Cowboys come out and rush right off the bat, knowing teams are going to run the ball down their throat. Happened in the Jets game. They just made a TFL off the bat. Happened in the Giants game.
Yeah.
They just blocked the kick on the first drive. Teams are going to come out running the ball.
Yes.
The defensive front that the Cowboys ran out there were all pass rush fronts until it got to 3rd and 1, and then they went to their big front with Mozzie Smith and Hankins. But they came out with did their pass rush. I'm ahead of the other team package where they have Micah in front of the center.
Yeah.
They have Micah alone on the edge wide, or they have Sam Williams on the edge wide. And it's like, all right, so we're just going to run over there.
Yeah.
Micah's still only 140 pounds. We're going to run to his side every time. And they didn't do anything to stop it until it was too late. The Arizona Cardinals had 180 yards rushing in the second quarter. Before halftime, 187 yards rushing is ridiculous. Dan Quinn needs to do something about rushing quarterbacks. The only thing that has hurt them in the first 2 weeks was when Zach Wilson rushed, when Daniel Jones rushed. In the first series, Josh Dobbs 45-yard scamper get them into field goal range easy. First, and I don't know why they can't do anything. Other teams can stop it.
Yep.
Dan Quinn is good enough to be able to stop having rushing quarterbacks hurt them over and over and over again. And the only thing you have coming up is rushing quarterbacks.
Yes,
You got Daniel Jones again. You got Jalen Hurts twice. You got Brock Purdy's mobile. You got Sam Howell. He's a running quarterback also.
Yeah.
Man, that's frustrating on the defensive side of the ball, not being able to game plan against the runs. And the Cardinals were doing every run in the book, inside zone, outside zone, pin and pulls. They did every run, and they all worked. That 7 yards. How much was it? I think it was over
7.4, something like that.
Yeah, 7.4 yards a clip. So on the defense, they didn't look prepared. I don't know what the hell Van Der Esch was doing out there. He looked like he was slipping left and right. He looked slow. The defense as a whole looked slow. That Trayvon Diggs injury is gonna bite him.
Yeah.
That one is gonna really take a toll. Stephon Gilmore is not a number 1 anymore.
Right.
He's a number 2. And if you're targeting your number 2 the way they were targeting Stephon Gilmore earlier in the year, that's a great thing. But now he's being tasked to go up against Hollywood Brown, go against Wilson, and he's slower than he was in the past. So the whole defense just looks slow on the grass. They were slipping around. Maybe they're just a turf team. Maybe once they get on turf and Micah is shot out of a cannon, DeMarcus Lawrence shot out of a cannon, and I just don't know what the hell Van Der Esch was doing out there. He wasn't stopping the run. He wasn't pass rushing. He wasn't stopping passes. Like they just look out coached on that side of the ball. Then we go to the offense. Red zone. They were 1-5 in red zone. That's what's lost them the game.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You got in the red zone 5 times. You only converted 1 touchdown. The rest was kicks, bad fourth down. Like just kick. Like it was 4th and 4. McCarthy got frustrated and he wanted to wheel in a touchdown, and it don't work like that.
Right.
They get paid too, and obviously they're coached well because they've come out in all 3 of these games and looked great.
Yeah,
at times
they have.
They just in the second quarter or the second half, they just remember they're not supposed to be winning these games. And against Dallas, they said, "Screw it, we're gonna get this. We're gonna take their head and put it on our mantle." The red zone woes are frustrating. That's what Kellen Moore brought to the team that Mike McCarthy is struggling with. Kellen Moore in the red zone is that's the stuff that we loved watching from that offense last year. This year, it's very vanilla in the red zone. It's slants, flats in the red zone. They're running it first, second down runs in the red zone. Now you're forced to pass, and that's just playing into the defense's hands. According to football film analysis, in 2022, the red zone efficiency, the Chargers in 2022 were 17th in the league. Dallas was first in red zone efficiency. So far in 2023, the Chargers are 8th in the league, and Dallas is 27th in red zone efficiency.
So now you see it.
That's it's not the in between the 20s. I like how McCarthy runs the middle of the field.
Right.
He's just killing me in the red zone. It's basic principles. He's doing a lot of spots. He's doing a lot of corner routes. Stuff that is predictable for the defense to shut down. They had 20 offensive plays in the red zone. They only mustered 13 points off of those offensive red zone plays. KC this week had 20 plays in the red zone. They had 35 points. San Francisco had 17 plays, and they got 24 points off the red zone. And Seattle got 29 points off of 16 plays in the red zone. So Dallas lost this game offensively in the red zone. I put that mostly on Mike McCarthy and the play calling, and a little bit on Dak, and a little bit on the offensive line.
Yeah.
We're down 3 starters.
That's what I was about to say.
We're down Tyron Smith. We're down Tyler Biotis. We're down Zach Martin. But you ain't gonna push into the red zone with your backup offensive line.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating. Yeah. They missed the opportunity to be taken seriously. And they missed the opportunity to go 3-0 with 2 wins in the NFC.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's also, I didn't even mention the penalties.
Oh yeah.
13 penalties for 107 yards. And that's not counting the ones that Arizona was like, "Nah, we're cool. We'll just take the kick." Or
is that a Mike McCarthy thing, you think, the penalty side of it? But I think I've heard of years past that people have blamed that on Mike McCarthy as far as not the disciplined team.
That's a Mike McCarthy thing, definitely. It's also a Dan Quinn thing. Dan Quinn he's got a mean streak to him, where he wants his defense to play on that edge. Like if you go back to the Legion of Boom, they all play with that little craziness, that little edge to where, yeah, we'll jump early, but when it gets called and then now you're pressing, it comes back to bite you in the butt because they had 11 penalties in the first half alone, and that was on special teams, offense, defense, and I think they're promoting that kind of behavior, that kind of mentality. Even on special teams, I get whenever I see a field goal, I'm like, all right, we know you want to block it, but not every time. You got to be smart. If it's 4th and 5, I'm not calling the all-out jump the snap.
No. You got to have more than 5 yards.
Yes.
That's just in
if
case.
It's 4th and 7, sure. But they do that all the time where it's like, all right, we're blocking every kick. We're going all out. And that just leads to roughing the kickers. That leads to offensive offsides. I don't know. They just Fossil, the special teams coordinator, he's got a screw loose too. So it's like when the penalties build up, it's just there's no way they can tame themselves down. And like I said, they came out with a mentality from jump of attack, and it bit them in the butt. There multiple times on the defense, 3 or 4 defensive linemen were in the backfield, but the running back's 10 yards down the field. Who's the fat Rondell Moore? On that 45-yard touchdown, he had no resistance because they got upfield so quick that it was Van Der Esch and Jaron Kearse was the only thing they could do. Jaron Kearse took a bad angle. Van Der Esch ain't going to catch no Rondell Moore, so it's the easiest touchdown you can do. He didn't make a cut. He got the ball, and he looked at these 3 clowns behind him running past to the quarterback. But you know it's a run it. They're going to run it. Right. Why are you attacking Dobbs when he only had 189 yards? Oh, man, it's just it's frustrating. And that's what you get with Mike McCarthy. I didn't believe it at first. I thought he might have turned over a new leaf, but he's got undisciplined teams. And when it starts snowballing, you can't stop it. You just can't stop it.
There's a couple of things you mentioned earlier. One was the cornerback situation. So now you're playing with your number 2 and number 3.
Yeah.
And if Gilmore's lost the step, you still got to face the Eagles receivers. You still got to face watching if they receivers ever get it together. And of course, the other thing you said, the mobile quarterback. Every quarterback in that division is mobile. All of them are mobile, man. So with that being said, are you just chalking this up to a bad day, or are there legitimate concerns going forward having to face those guys?
A little bit of both. Like I said, the Cardinals have their number. They're since 2008, they're 1-7 against the Cardinals in Arizona. Like they just don't beat the Cardinals. Even back to I remember when Emmitt Smith went to the Cardinals, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna tear them up." Emmitt had a hell of a day against them, and the Cardinals beat them. And I'm like, ever since then, I hate going to the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray, I just remember him just clowning the Cowboys. It's something with the Cardinals. But so the things I take away are Bland is an outside corner. Bland is a slot corner. He gave up 16.4 passer rating from the slot. And on the outside, he's just not quick enough. His technique isn't good enough. Stephon Gilmore steps slower. Their defense overall looks slow. It looks slow on grass. That does happen to where teams aren't. This isn't a grass team. This is a artificial surface team, and it showed on offense. Brandon Cooks ain't got the juice. He ain't got the juice like he used to. His 4.3 turned more into a 4.48. CD was getting frustrated. they got real physical with CD. He turned to look at the refs like, when are y'all gonna call stuff instead of going after the ball. When the O line gets back, I'll feel better. But and then with Dak he's got to find a middle ground because right now he's playing all safe ball.
Yeah.
Last year he was playing hero ball. He's got to find that middle ground to where it's make a play when it's there, and use your legs when you have to, but don't do the stupid turnover. Like he turned into a hero ball Dak in the red zone, but in the 50s, between the 20s, he's very conservative. He's not hitting a long ball like he did previously. I think they need a full squad. I think they need to be 100% on both sides for them to really do something this year. And then we got New England coming up, so that's really gonna show me something with their defense.
Oh yeah.
But man, it was just
in Dallas.
Yeah, they're in Dallas. Okay. But it's just so weird that the Cowboys, they go to Arizona, and I don't know, is it good weed out there? I don't know what it is, but they just go, they just lose all kind of sense of how to operate whenever they go to Arizona. It's baffling to me, to be honest. And then now all the talking heads come out and they got something to say.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be real loud today.
Oh,
all week till they play another game, it's gonna be real loud.
Yeah,
no doubt.
But yeah, that's all I got with this game. Let's go to the next game. The next game is the Steelers versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Pittsburgh put up 23 points against the Raiders, 18 points. Steelers go to 2-1. The Raiders drop to 1-2. Kenny Pickett, 16 of 28, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jimmy Garoppolo, 28 of 44, 324 yards, 2 touchdowns, and some bad interceptions. Those were prime Jimmy G interceptions. 3 interceptions on the night. Josh Jacobs, 17 carries, 62 yards. Najee Harris, 19 carries, 65 yards. George Pickens, 4 receptions, 75 yards. And Devontae Adams, the man, 13 receptions, 172 yards, 2 touchdowns. Have a day, Devontae. Total yardage, 333 yards for Pittsburgh, 362 yards for Las Vegas. 3 turnovers sealed the deal for the Raiders. Time of possessions is pretty much even. So really, those 3 turnovers were the difference. And Pittsburgh still plus 500.
Yep.
What you think?
You're right. No, Jimmy G is still Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Turning the ball over like that. And of course, Devontae Adams is still Devontae Adams. Man, it's amazing he put up those numbers with Jimmy G.
Yeah.
That many catches and 2 touchdowns. I like you say, those interceptions, I mean, that look like a high school kid throwing the ball out there. I'm like, that's the wrong guy. He ain't got your color jersey on, but you throwing it right to him.
Arm punch.
Yeah. And that's man, it's gonna be some frustration just a matter of time, like we talked about last week. With Adams there. He's still doing his thing, but man, at some point the losing just gonna step in and be like, this is not gonna work. I think they got the Bears or somebody coming up soon on their schedule. If they lose that game, it's gonna really be some problems in Vegas,
Yeah.
with that playing against a defense like that in Fields. But Steelers moving right along, man. Moving right along. They was the underdog in this game. They went there to Vegas and won it. So congrats to the Steelers, man.
Yeah, definitely. I think Devontae Adams may be the most quarterback-proof receiver we've seen in the last decade.
Yes.
He steps up every year with every different quarterback. Maybe Antonio Brown is in that same, like, it doesn't matter who's throwing it to him. You could put him in a Steelers jersey. He still would have did the same thing. It just doesn't matter that he is definitely top 3 in the league as a receiver.
Yes.
Future Hall of Famer in my book.
Oh, ain't no doubt. No doubt.
So McDaniels, he's done. After, like Fredo says it all the time, he's done. I don't even think he goes back to the Patriots.
No.
He might be in a booth somewhere.
Yeah, it's a wrap for him.
Yeah, he's just not a head coach.
Nope.
He's just not a head coach. He needs to be in somebody's booth. Offense coordinator, somebody.
Yeah. And there's several guys in the league like that. They're like Vic Fangio.
Yeah.
Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
Him. There's something, you're a coordinator. Accept that and just be okay with it.
Yeah.
You don't have to take a head coaching job because somebody calls. You know where your bread is buttered at. You're a coordinator. Just be satisfied with that and keep on instead of jumping out there taking these head coaching jobs. The OC and the Jets OC. Yeah, Hackett. You jump out there and you take these head coaching jobs. And that's not what you do.
It's too big for your britches.
Yeah. You're a coordinator, man. So just stay in your lane and let them other guys get out there and do that.
Yeah, you said it with Hackett. Look, just Hackett knew quick. Hackett was like, you know what? This is too big for me. Yep. McDaniels, this is his second good. Technically, it's his third because he could have been the head coach. But he backed out at the last minute. Yeah. He's just, this ain't it. His decisions are ridiculous. Him bringing in Jimmy G, I don't know where he thought he was going with that. But
and you may see the same thing with Dayball. You may find out you're a coordinator, man. That's it.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane.
So yeah, they keep trucking in Pittsburgh. What we got for tonight? Tonight is Monday Night Football. Got a doubleheader, correct?
Eagles and Bucks.
Eagles, Bucks. Let me go ahead and make my picks at the same time we do this segment.
And the Rams and the Bengals.
All right, yeah. So let's go ahead and do it. So Philadelphia is visiting Tampa Bay. 89% of the people are picking Philly to win. I believe Philly is going to dominate this game. But Tampa Bay has been frisky. Philly is a 5-point favorite. What do you say about this game?
I'm with you. I think the Eagles are going to be dominant. I don't think you're going to see the same Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield combo you've seen last year. I think they're going to get to Baker tonight, often and early, and I expect them to come out there and set the tone with the run game. The Eagles, just like they did last week.
Yeah.
Don't let up. Let that offensive line work for you. Of course, yeah. The 5-point, I would probably bump up to about 6.
Yeah. I thought the same. The one thing I can say about Tampa is there's a lot of people on that Tampa team that won that Super Bowl. It wasn't just Tom Brady. So bigger surprises have happened. I just don't think the Eagles are gonna have a letdown game tonight. Too big of a stage. They've got so much talent. But yeah, I'm picking. I'll pick Philly by 10.
Yeah,
something like that. let's say 30-10. And then the second game is at Cincinnati. The 0-2 Cincinnati Bengals against the 1-1 Los Angeles Rams. Cincinnati is a 3-point favorite. With Burrow still in doubt. It really comes down to if Burrow plays. I think Burrow plays, but if he doesn't play, the Rams are playing all right football. I'll give the Rams are not playing chump football. If Burrow's not there, I think the Rams win this game. But even if Burrow is there, I think it's still going to be a struggle.
Yes, yes. That line is just about right. Even though it's at the Bengals, it's just about right. Aaron Donald, if that line don't hold up tonight,
Yeah.
he will be in Burrow's face or whoever's face, whoever's playing quarterback, and he's gonna make it life very difficult for them up in the middle. So the line's right. If Burrow play, I think the Bengals beat them, but they have to come out and punch him in the mouth. Don't let him stick around. Take all the doubt out of it from the jump, and get Chase involved real early.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have to do that. If not, you ain't. I mean, we see what happens when you let some of these lesser teams. Well, we call them lesser teams. It's still early in the year, but when you let some of these guys stick around throughout the first half, and all of a sudden they go in halftime and come back out energized, and next thing you know, you're in a dogfight, and the game you should have been over. You should have been resting starters by now.
It's such a weird league because I almost have more faith in Puka going off than I do Jamar.
It's crazy, ain't it?
Jamar Chase should be able to go off against this team for 3 touchdowns. He's got that much talent, but Puka gets 15 receptions a game, and he was a 5th round from what, BYU?
BYU, yep.
Like,
yeah,
it's such a weird league. You never can tell because if you had to put your money on it, what duo has a better night? Let's say everybody plays. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase or Puka and Tutu. Listen to these names.
Yeah.
Tutu Atwell, Puka Nacua have been a better duo than T. Higgins and Jamar Chase this year. I don't know.
Because they both may end up with 150 yards.
Yeah.
Puka and Tutu. 10 catches, 150 yards, like they did the other week. So, yeah, like you're right. That duo, man, Stafford just stepping back and slinging that bad boy, man.
Yeah. And that's the thing that people used to get on Stafford for is targeting one receiver back when he had Calvin Johnson. Now it's just his eyes. He knows exactly where he's going. If Puka's out there, he's going to Puka. If Tutu's out there, he's going.
And Tutu's fast, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And,
so
in the Rams, basically there was no expectations from them when the season started, so they just playing loose. Nobody gave them a chance to do anything. They probably everybody picked them last in the division and not a chance to make the playoffs, and they just going out there playing, with no pressure.
Yeah, they're playing with no pressure. Aaron Donald's still Aaron Donald. Kyron Williams stepped up.
I forgot about him.
He took a job.
Yeah,
It's they're playing free. I think McVay is playing. He's calling one of the better games over these first 2 weeks that he's ever done to get these kind of performances. And no, they're not winning every game, but it's close. They're in the game,
right?
And I think no matter what, they're going to be in the game tonight too.
Yep.
But I'm gonna say Cincinnati wins just because Burrow plays. This is a must win.
Yeah.
For them to stick with everybody, they can't go 0-3.
No,
they cannot do it. Week 4. Let's go on to week 4.
Before we go, I don't know if you noticed this or not about the Chargers. They say J.C. Jackson got paid all that money with a healthy scratch.
Yeah.
Didn't even play. Dressed the street clothes.
Yeah.
All that money so that just lets you know they're making some bad decisions out there. We looking at that team like they stacked, but evidently the GM has made some bad calls for signing players.
It's weird. What is that? Because J.C. Jackson in New England was a top 5 corner that year. He got paid, and now he's healthy scratched.
$585 million. 5 years, $85 million.
Man, I would have said the Cowboys need to trade for him, but that contract is ridiculous.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. What? Multiple bad decisions on the Cardinals. I mean, on the Chargers ledger. For next week, let's go on to week 4. Make some picks. First up, Thursday Night Football. Detroit goes to Green Bay. What do you have for this matchup with with them going to Green Bay. They are doesn't say who's favorite. You got the
It says Detroit by 1.
okay, all right.
Detroit by
So
1.
on my thing is not showing,
Yeah,
but you
Detroit by 1.
throw in those throw in the odds for me.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Detroit's favored by 1, but I think if the Packers get healthy, I think they'll beat them. If they get the lineman back, the running back, and the receiver Watson back, I think this one the Packers might steal from them. I do.
There is definitely a chance. I'm gonna go with the Lions. I think they just have too much talent.
Yeah.
But I would say Matt LaFleur is coaching his butt off for him to be down all those weapons and still coming out with victories. But I am gonna go with the Detroit Lions. Next game, Atlanta Falcons going to Jacksonville Jaguars. Atlanta's 2-1. Jacksonville is 1-2.
Jacksonville's favored by 3.
Jacksonville very favored by 3. I'm gonna go, man. Can you trust Jacksonville after what you just saw?
This is a London game.
It's in London.
It's 8:30 in the morning. Yeah, it looks like a London game.
Yeah. So this is really a neutral. So I'm gonna go with Jacksonville. This is my last chance giving them.
Yeah.
They got to show me.
I'm expecting Ridley to show up against his former team, so I'm gonna go with Jacksonville.
Okay. Yeah. But we say that and Bijan goes off. Well, I guarantee it's gonna happen. Next up, it's a noon game on Sunday. The game of the week: Miami Dolphins going to the Buffalo Bills. What's the
It's 2.5. Buffalo by 2.5.
Buffalo by 2.5.
Yeah.
I might have to put some money down on this one.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm picking Miami.
Yep.
Miami is going off this year. I think this is the AFC Super Bowl team right here. As long as Tua stays healthy, and I think this is the game of the week.
Yeah. I'm going with you. I'm with you. I'm taking the Dolphins too, man.
It's crazy because it says 53% of the people are picking the Buffalo Bills to win this game so far. Wow. I just can't see it.
Not what I just seen the Dolphins do. It's hard, even though it was the Broncos. It's still hard.
And speaking of the Broncos, 0-3 Broncos versus the 0-3 Chicago Bears. In Chicago, this is a loser leave town match right here. In old WWE terms, this is what's the spread on this one?
-3, Denver 3.5 favorite. Denver is.
And I'm going with them. I can't trust Fields.
I can't do it. I can't do it, man.
I know DJ Moore is over there just cursing. The way his career is going out, it's pathetic. I can't.
He's the guy that deserves better. Because he's a good receiver.
Real good receiver.
Good receiver, man.
DJ Moore should be where he should be in the same regards as Stephon Diggs to me.
Yeah, because he can go. He can run. He's fast.
He can run.
Man.
He can run routes. He's tough. He's Steve Smith to me. But so next game, Baltimore Ravens visiting the Cleveland Browns. What's the spread on this one?
Cleveland by 2.5.
Cleveland by 2.5.
Cleveland by 2.5 at home.
Cleveland defense is playing at a nice clip. I'm gonna go with Cleveland.
I'm gonna go with Cleveland because they're gonna have to. Lamar's got to pass this week. They're gonna put him in a position where he's got to throw the ball down the field.
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna just be able to get away with running against their front this week.
And eventually, those injuries gonna catch up. That injury list was damn near 30 deep.
And as long as Watson don't turn the ball over, they should beat the Ravens.
Yeah, you never know about that. Another noon game. Cincinnati Bengals going to Tennessee. Watch this on Fox.
Well,
what you thinking, Kraft?
Oh man, the line is even. I don't know why. That's weird. It's an even line. But if Chase ain't got right yet, he's gonna get right this game. Right, the game. This gonna be the game that the passing game. I'm taking the Bengals, man. If Chase ain't right yet, he will be. Higgins too.
What does Vegas know?
I don't know.
Keep
right?
It even.
Yeah.
Unless
it's something up in the air about Burrow, I guess.
It's got to be Burrow related But they got him.
Burrow must not be playing tonight, man.
They must know he might.
Yeah, they must know, man.
He must not be
because there's only 3 with the Rams at home. If we knew Burrow was healthy, that line would be that 9 or 10 points. I bet you at Cincinnati. So it's something they know that we don't know.
I'm gonna go Cincinnati too, just because what you said that Chase is gonna have him a day. The Los Angeles Rams going to Indianapolis Colts. 1-1 Rams. We'll see what they do tonight. Go to the Colts. That is a 12 o'clock matchup. I'm gonna pick the Rams in that game.
Yeah. I can't believe I think I'm gonna pick the Colts, man.
Really?
I think Richardson come back, man. I think he comes back, man. I'm gonna pick Richardson. I'm gonna take the Colts and see what happens, man.
I think
Indy's favored by 1.
Oh, Indy's
favored by 1. Yeah.
I think they might be better off with Minshew. I'm not sure.
Yeah, as for the total. Yeah, as for the whole offensive weapons. Yeah.
And then we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to the New Orleans Saints. The Saints
favored
are
by 2.5.
Favored by 2.5, and 71% of the people are picking the New Orleans Saints.
They must have already got the news about Carr. Maybe he's playing or something, and we don't know.
or they just the Superdome is that intimidating. That's the only thing I could think of is maybe the Superdome is so they have Kamara back.
Yep.
Olave might go off. I'm gonna go ahead and pick. I might rethink this after tonight's game, but I'm gonna pick the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, I'm going Saints. And of course, Mike Evans, he always struggles against Lattimore. For some reason, he struggles with Lattimore, so I wouldn't expect him to have a big game.
To me, it's personal between them.
Oh, yeah, ain't no doubt.
It's not
over the years.
Yeah, this ain't no on the field. I think they hate each other in real life. Next game, Washington Commanders visit the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, Eagles
by 7.
Play tonight. Eagles by 7.
Eagles by 7, yep.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do it after what Sam Howell just put on the field against the. Yep. So they get Buffalo defense. Then they backdoor with the Eagles pass rush.
Not looking good.
Yeah, Eagles by a lot in that game.
Yeah, they're definitely going to cover that 7.
Another 0-3 bowl. Minnesota Vikings visiting the Carolina Panthers.
Minnesota is favored by 3.5.
In Carolina. Yeah, I'm gonna just go in these 0-3 teams. Whoever's favorite, I'm just gonna go with because it ain't no telling.
Yeah, just give me Justin Jefferson to beat the Panthers.
Yeah. Next game, Pittsburgh Steelers come to Houston.
Pittsburgh is favored by 3.
That's kind of disrespectful. The Texans.
1 second. Did you just get that breaking news about Mike Williams? Torn ACL out for the year.
Ooh.
Yeah, it just popped up on my screen.
Mike Williams. I know he left that game, and he had a pretty good game before that, but that's tough. That's a big loss.
Hey, here you come. Hey, Johnson.
Yeah,
that's what they spent the pick on you for.
Yeah, you're gonna have to step.
That's
and
right.
Now, the bad part is Keenan Allen they're gonna put even more on his plate. He already had 18 receptions. He threw a touchdown. They ain't gonna put. I just hope they don't strain his hamstring because you know that thing is tissue paper at this point. But Pittsburgh is favored in Houston, and I'm actually going Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I am too.
Sorry, Fredo. Y'all got y'all big win, but
Pittsburgh,
Mike Tomlin coming to town. The Raiders.
In the Pittsburgh, they're favored by 3 at Houston. They were favored by 3.
The Raiders go to the Chargers. Now we find out Mike Williams isn't playing anymore for them.
The Chargers are favored by 4.5.
Oh yeah, definitely. If this is another one of them Staley games. If he fumbles this, it's another reason to send him home.
Yeah,
because that's 2 weeks in a row. You should have cruised to victories. So I'm going Chargers. You're going Chargers too, right?
Chargers too, yeah.
All right. For 3:25 p.m., the Patriots come to Dallas. Zeke
Dallas
is
by
visiting his home.
7. Dallas favored by 7.
That's too much. I believe the Cowboys win just because they're at home, but that Bill Belichick defense is really going to test Mike McCarthy. And if Mike McCarthy, if he isn't who we hope he is, it's going to show this game. So they better win this because they got the 49ers coming up after that.
Don't be looking ahead.
Yep.
Worry about this one game.
Yep.
Because you must you'll be on a 3-game slide.
Yep. So Cowboys, y'all better do your thing. The Cardinals go to San Francisco.
49ers favored by 14.
14 points.
I might throw a little something on the Cardinals for that. I don't know, man. I might throw a little something on the Cardinals to get within 4. That's a number.
That's complete disrespect.
In a divisional game, man. 2 touchdown dog.
2 touchdowns. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
that's
a lot.
I'm not giving them no. Arizona's not as bad as people.
They've been competitive.
They had a competitive coaching staff. We all made fun of what's his name because of his comments.
Right.
The coach. But yeah, the head coach. But yeah, they play hard. And they're tougher than I thought they would be. So 49ers, they're going to win, but 14
I would
points.
expect by game time that line drops to at least about 12 or something like that. I don't think it's going to stay at 14.
14 is disrespectful for real.
Yes.
Man, it don't get no easier for the Jets. They got KC coming to town. I don't see how 7% of the people picked the Jets. That's crazy.
KC by 9.5. Now, that's the line that should have been 14.
Yeah, this one should have been. They're going to have fun with Zach Wilson.
Yes. This is the night the wheels fall off the Jets.
That one's easy. Chiefs.
They need to flex that. They need to flex that.
Oh, it sure is Sunday night.
Sunday night game. They need to flex that, man.
Yeah, they're going to lose.
325. Put the Cowboys and Patriots there or something, man.
I would move the Dolphins all the way. Dolphins Bills all the way to Sunday night.
Yeah.
That should have been it for it. But that's an easy one. Chiefs. Chiefs take that.
And I'm gonna watch it just to see what happened on the sidelines.
Yeah, the imploding. Yeah, the fight in the locker room is gonna be crazy. Seattle Seahawks go to the Giants on Monday Night Football.
Giants favored by 1.
Giants are favored by 1
at home. Yeah,
I can't see why.
Neither.
Daniel Jones hasn't been anything special. Receiver, maybe it's a Waller game. This is gonna have for them to win. It's gonna have to be a Waller game because Saquon's not playing.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for him. If he did play, it wouldn't be 100%.
Yeah,
no way.
Yeah, I'm going Seattle with that one.
Oh yeah, Seattle. Just don't turn it over, Gino. Y'all will be okay. Just turn around and give it to Walker and keep moving.
Precisely. So that's all of the week 4 games. Again, we got 2 Monday night games tonight. Hopefully enjoy those. You got anything else before we wrap up?
No, I was just seeing that Joe Burrow say he's going to try to play, barring any setbacks.
I don't like any of these terms you just used. You said Joe Burrow's going to
try to play Monday, barring any setbacks.
Barring setbacks. So Vegas knows he's not playing.
Right.
That's what it is.
Right.
We can pretty much sum it up because with him saying it's Monday already and he hasn't. Yeah, that's not good.
Not good at all, man.
Rams might sneak them one, but for a wild. This was a wild weekend. Yeah. To recap, Packers entered the fourth quarter down 17-0. They win 18-17. The Dolphins scored 70 points on the Broncos. The Chargers don't convert on a 4th and 1, give up the ball on their 24-yard line, and still hold on to win. The Texans win by 20 as 7.5 underdogs. Yep. Colts beat the Ravens as 7.5 underdogs. The Cardinals beat the Cowboys by 12 as 11.5 point underdogs. It was a weird week.
Yeah. Saints gave up 18 unanswered points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And missed on a field goal at the end.
Yeah. And Chuck already sent me all kind of memes about cats trying to try out for the Saints.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's a wild week. This is what we do this for, because you can never really guess what's gonna happen in the National Football League.
No doubt.
But Kraft, you got anything else?
I think I'm good,
close
bro.
us out?
I think we're good, man. Just don't forget to subscribe and follow us YouTube, Apple Music, all that stuff, man. Wherever you get your podcast there, just type in the CL Football. It should pop up.
Yeah. All the social media outlets. Give us some support. Give us a follow. Love doing this for y'all.
Yep.
Y'all have a great rest of your week.
Yeah. Yep. Later.
Peace out.